Borders are fascinating, those invisible lines that divide nations and shape our world. But some borders defy logic, cutting through towns, rivers, and even houses. How did these strange divisions come to be? Let's dive into the history, geography, and human quirks that created some of the world's most bizarre borders. Colonial legacies, arbitrary lines on a map. Colonial history played a huge role in shaping modern borders. European powers, eager to expand their empires, often drew lines on maps without considering the people or geography already there. Take Africa, for instance. At the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, European leaders divided the continent using nothing more than rulers and pencils. The result? Borders that cut straight through ethnic groups. The Somali people, for example, found themselves scattered across Somalia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Djibouti, an issue that still fuels tensions today. Enclaves and exclaves, the puzzle pieces of borders. Some borders resemble jigsaw puzzles, filled with tiny enclaves, territories surrounded by another country, and exclaves, territories separated from their home country. One of the most bizarre cases? Barley, a town where Belgium and the Netherlands intertwine in a confusing mess. Here, over 20 Belgian enclaves sit inside Dutch territory, with Dutch enclaves scattered inside them. Some houses are even split between two countries, meaning that depending on where you stand in your own living room, you might be in a different country. Another famous exclave is Kaliningrad, a Russian territory cut off from mainland Russia. Once part of Germany, it was handed to the Soviet Union after World War II. Today, it's surrounded by Poland and Lithuania, creating political and logistical challenges for Russia. Mistakes and oversights when borders go awry. Not all borders were planned. Some exist purely due to mistakes. For instance, the Northwest Angle in Minnesota. This tiny piece of the US is entirely surrounded by Canada, accessible only by boat or through Canadian land. Why? A simple mapping error in the 1783 Treaty of Paris. Then there's Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. It sits on the border between Nepal and China, and this division has led to disputes over climbing routes, tourism control, and even mountaineering fees. Natural geography. Borders shaped by nature. Rivers and mountains often create borders, but nature isn't always cooperative. The India-Bangladesh border, for example, was a chaotic mess of enclaves until 2015. Before that, hundreds of tiny land pockets, some as small as a single farm, belonged to one country but were trapped inside the other. Imagine needing a visa just to walk to your neighbor's house. Another case is the Danube River, which has shifted its course over time, causing disputes between Hungary and Slovakia. Even today, the river's ever-changing path leads to disagreements over fishing rights and sovereignty. Borders born from conflict. Wars and treaties have redrawn borders time and time again. Consider Alsace-Lorraine, a region that has switched between France and Germany multiple times. Annexed by Germany in 1871, reclaimed by France after World War I, occupied by Germany again in World War II, and then permanently returned to France. It's a place where even the locals have had to change nationalities multiple times in their lifetimes. And then there's the Korean DMZ, a border frozen in time. Established after World War II and reinforced following the Korean War, this 250-kilometer-long no man's land remains one of the most militarized zones on Earth. Unclaimed lands and bizarre disputes. Some borders have led to strange rivalries, or even land that no country wants. One of the strangest, the Flagpole War. In the 1980s, North and South Korea engaged in a bizarre competition. Who could build the tallest flagpole? The result? North Korea's 525-foot flagpole in Kijongdong, a towering Cold War symbol. And then there's Bir Tawil, a 2,060 square kilometer trip between Egypt and Sudan that neither country claims. Thanks to conflicting colonial agreements, it remained sun-claimed land, one of the few places on Earth where you could technically declare yourself king. In fact, in 2014, an American planted a flag there and claimed it as the Kingdom of North Sudan for his daughter. Borders aren't just lines on a map, they're living history. They tell stories of conquest, colonialism, and human error, shaping the world we live in today. Which border story fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more mind-blowing facts about our world.